Hello, and welcome back to my Let's Play of ReZero, Prophecy of the Throne. But if there's more to the Fardar story, would you be interested?
More to Fardar? Whoa, what do you mean by that?
This is nothing more than a rumor. While it's a fact that Fardar was destroyed, the Evil Eye tribe wasn't exterminated. The Evil Eye tribe was taken off somewhere for the Evil Eye powers in their bodies to be used. That's what I heard anyway.
To me, that sounds exactly like Melty and Company. The Evil Eye tribe taken from their homeland, being used, like Melty and Solemn, who are being used by Sakura and this so-called mother.
How many people were taken away?
I told you it's just a rumor, but the power of the Evil Eye tribe is valuable. If they wanted to round all of them up, considering the scale of the Evil Eye tribe settlement in Fardar, there could be 100.
100?
How awful.
Mila makes a pained face, but my response had a different meaning. It's true that this is a cruel and bitter story, but
100 of them were taken? In that case...
a sudden thought races across my mind. In this moment, I found the puzzle piece I was missing. Last night, what Tika said, that he and Solon obeyed Sakura to keep Melty alive. But I didn't know the reason why Melty would continue to obey them. It didn't make sense for her to be Sakura hostage. In that case, 100 people from her homeland, what if they have 100 people from the evil tribe as hostages? If so many of her people were at stake, even Melty couldn't do anything rash. Is that the answer?
Old Man Ram, I want to know something. How far can I push this favor you owe me?
When you ask like that, it makes me want to take it back right away. But I've known Felt since an age before she remembers anything. I think of her like my own grandchild. I was going to be parted from that grandchild without even knowing, but you stopped that. My gratitude can't be expressed in words.
Is that so? Then let me apologize in advance. I'm about to take advantage of an old man's weakness.
That sounds really bad. But Subaru's determined. His delightful smile proves it.
He does seem energized. He's about to scan this old man for everything he's got. Is this what elder abuse looks like?
You're making me sound even worse! Cut it out! Putting all that aside, I'm going to ask you for a pretty unreasonable favor.
Go ahead. I'll at least hear it out.
I want you to find out if that rumor is true.
About the aftermath of Fardar?
And if it is true, if there are survivors, where they were taken, it'd be for the best if I could find out that much.
You're asking too much. Do you really think I could find all that out?
To be honest, I don't know.
I think he can. Ram? Why do you think that? Well, Miss Amelia, I was not certain at first, but a memory came to me. Mr. Ram has been to Rem and Sister's village. You spoke to the village chief.
So you really were the girl from back then. I heard what happened later. All of you were...
Rem and Sister are safe. That is enough for me.
Huh?
In any case, Mr. Ram is well connected enough to travel to our hidden village. Which means...
All right. You don't have to say anymore.
So you'll do it?
I do owe you after all. I always repay my debts. Especially when old friends and a girl caught up in all this are here.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Man, I seriously owe you one.
Don't praise me yet. I haven't done anything. It's been a while, but I'm gonna have to pull some strings for this. This'll be tough.
Come on, don't say that. This could end up helping Felt too, you know?
Oh?
Right, Mealy?
Oh, yes. So let's do our best, for everyone to be happy.
After entrusting Old Man Ram with the big job, we visited the fruit stand to thank the shopkeeper, then headed to our next destination. That destination was...
Hello, Subaru. Did your discussion go well?
Yeah, pretty good. And judging by your expression, I'd say you did well too.
Of course I fulfilled my duty. I even had help from a friend.
Had help is a rather conservative way to put it. I made almost all the arrangements. How did you see it in your mind? Surely you don't see friends as nothing more than beasts of burden to do hard labor at your command.
Oh dear, now this is harsh. Ah, my apologies for the late introduction. This is my old friend.
Russell?
Oh?
Subaru, you know him too?
Yeah, you know, he's a pretty famous guy.
I blurted it out because of the unexpected reunion, but that was a mistake. I haven't met him yet in this loop.
To think you would be familiar with me. I'm very honored, Mr. Natsuki.
Mr. Russell, are you also familiar with Subaru?
Of course. As someone who does business in the royal capital, I pay attention to everything discussed within the castle. The people involved in such affairs are no exception. Not to mention, I hear that Mr. Natsuki, despite the absence of his master, negotiated with royal candidates and made great efforts to set all the pieces in place. Along with Miss Amelia, you are currently someone of great renown at the royal castle.
I've got that good of a reputation? Just so you know, I'm not some big shot like that.
No, your reputation is well earned. Rem is very proud. I can agree to that too. Subaru worked really hard after all.
I know I was working hard, but still!
Anyway, because of Russell's favoritism for Subaru, the coordination went without any issue. My, such a capable friend to have, and a servant with great promise.
As a Royal Capital Merchant Guild representative, I deal with a great many issues, which is why that evil magician there sought my help. If you're going to deal with an evil magician, you need to be cautious of their words and deeds. Sometimes you have to be firm with them.
Yes, I understand. I'll be sure to remember those words.
Such an assertive reply. As an evil magician, I tremble in fear.
Evil magician? You, Roswell? Why?
It seems EMA has snuck one past the Keeper Roswell!
Roswell isn't the bad guy he pretends to be. He doesn't know what to do with genuine reactions like these.
Well, now I've just about lost all my reputation. Let's get back to the main topic.
A clever evasion. Having said that, Roswell speaks true. Everyone awaits inside.
But still, thank you very much, Russell. It must have been really tough, right?
No, it's fine. Of course, I see this as an investment and hope for an appropriate return. Please continue your efforts in the royal selection going forward. Miss Amelia and Mr. Natsuki?
I'll do my best.
Although I did meet him through Roswell, I feel like I owe a debt to someone really high up. Well, if worst come to worst, I'll just shove it all onto Roswell.
I'm getting nervous.
Why should you be nervous, Subaru?
Yes.
I guess that's true. But I feel like I did something rash. Even for me.
That's one of the wonderful things about Subaru.
Is it?
Come on, I'm opening the door. 1, 2...
Hey, wait, my heart's not ready!
Oh, so you're finally here. You sure did take your time. In Kararagi, we say time is money, you know?
How typical of you to say such a thing. It is actually impressive that you could spew such cheap words of advice.
That's enough. They were invited into my household, so they're my guests. As the master of the estate, I won't allow such quarrels.
Whoa! This is really something.
You're right. Everyone is here. All thanks to Subaru's charm.
Stop making everything my responsibility. I saw how tense things are.
Whoa! Tense, meow? Whose fault do you think it is?
Let him say what he will, Ferris. It seems he has no self-awareness.
Self-awareness? Like, aware that yourself did something horribly wrong?
I wouldn't say it's wrong, but it certainly is out of the ordinary. Us all gathering here without being summoned by the Council of Wise Men.
Whoa. I get why you're all here, but still, seeing all of you gathered here is impressive.
4 royal candidates and their 4 knights. Such a lineup make for a powerful picture.
No, Subaru. You mean 5 royal selection candidates and their 5 attending knights.
I'm just a knight hopeful, but that's true. I shouldn't forget that.
With Rem encouragement pushed me back. I take a step forward and instantly all gaze in the room gather on me.
Such pressure.
Subaru, Subaru, are you okay? If you want, I could do the talking.
But in that case, Leah's story will jump around everywhere, so be prepared for that.
Prepared for what? Also, I'm happy for the offer, Mealy, but leave this to me. I'll do my best.
I found my works.
Alright then, do your best.
Yeah, thanks for the support.
In the corner of the room, I catch a glimpse of Ram, Roswell, and Russell. In the other, already set to watch, and I clear my throat loudly.
Thank you very much for taking the trouble to attend on this fine day.
I have no use for your boring introductory remarks, Commoner. I am spending my valuable time here. If you have nothing of worth to say, I'll leave.
Don't complain about a conventional opening line. Anyway, thanks for gathering. I know it was sudden, so I'm grateful.
This is an important matter related to the royal selection. Considering your actions thus far, it would be a bad idea to ignore you.
Yes, Subaru and Rem found the suspicious guy targeting royal selection candidates.
Yeah. Me too.
Yes, Fairy will personally reward you later. I can get rid of stuff like stiff shoulders, just like that.
Oh, that would actually be really helpful.
You know, oh god, I'm just thinking, and that just made me feel actually really weird. So, like, if you had a stiff shoulder on an arm that was missing, how do you get that out?
Also, thanks to Natsuki, my company cultivated a new business. Julius brought the contract and told me about yesterday. Don't worry.
I thought for certain today would be about that. But seeing this lineup, it seems that wasn't gonna be all. What kind of story do you have in store for us? I feel both anticipation and dread.
As for me, well, it's probably got to do with what happened yesterday, right? I've got a stake in this, so I'll hear you out.
I would also like to understand the situation. Miss Felt refuses to tell me about yesterday.
I'll talk about all of that, but please, let me hold off distributing honors for all your input until later. Well, this isn't completely unrelated to Al's extremely self-assertive comment.
Oh, he was? Although I can already imagine what you have to say. On camp is blatantly absent, after all.
When Priscilla flat out say this, the air in the room instantly goes tense.
You're a genius when it comes to making a bad atmosphere.
There's no need for deceit, Commoner. Of course, everyone here already noticed the same thing. All that remained was to say it out loud or not. Or did you wish to put a lid over the obvious truth and have us exchange pointless pleasantries around it? In that case, I have no business here. You can all lick each other's wounds on your own.
No, she has a point.
Princess, you're going too far. I'm sure even he realizes that. There are just some conversations people aren't eager to have. You can't help that. It seems pretty close to that girl, after all.
Such lenient words for an enemy. Regardless of their status as real or fake, all royal candidates are our enemies.
But then why did you come here today, Priscilla? If you say everyone around you are enemies, wouldn't it be dangerous to come? And yet you still came, Priscilla. That's probably because you trust us and have expectations for us. Am I wrong?
No, Emilia, that's stupid. She probably came because, hey, it's much more safer to have everyone here, and probably no one camp will actually try to murder each other if everyone is in the same area.
The mumblings of a half-devil irritate my noble ears terribly.
You...
Yet again, Priscilla calls Emilia a half-devil, and I'm about to snap at her. But before I can do...
Either revise your words or withdraw them, Priscilla Bariel. Saying such statements is not wise here.
Crucia gives Priscilla a sharp glare, admonishing her abusive word, but it wasn't just Crucia.
That's no good, Princess. Losing your temper just because she hit you where it hurts is childish.
I'm not going to say who's right, but I owe that girl a debt. So I'm going to take her side too.
Don't think you can push your luck by banding together, commoners. Do you think I'd be scared if you formed a group? In that case, you're terribly
I'm sorry, hold on. Only one of them is a commoner. Technically, I guess Anastasia is one, but no, not really.
Princess, let's stop this, okay? Don't make the situation even worse. You're putting me in a tough spot here.
As Priscilla becomes more displeased, Al desperately tries to stop her with his own body. I'm sure if Al put himself on the line, even Priscilla would settle down.
Be quiet, Al. Or do you wish that ugly head of yours to be removed from your shoulders?
Even Al's no good. It can't be helped. His was a noble sacrifice.
Isn't that a little cold, bro?
I won't allow you to cut off Mr. Al's head. Miss Priscilla, please return to your seat. I'm sure you'll hear a story well worth the trouble of coming here.
You speak big, Sword Saint. Very well. I'll go along
You know, I find it actually hilarious. You just have Reinhardt in the room, and then you're just like, oh wait, no one can disagree in this room. No one can disagree to Reinhardt in the room, because Reinhardt is just Reinhardt.
Whoa, Al couldn't do it, but Reinhardt pulled it off!
I entrust the rest to you, Subaru. I'd like you to make Miss Priscilla understand.
And casually raising the hurdle while he's at it.
I scratch my head at Reinhardt's word. His words didn't mean any harm. I take a long breath and then...
You'll be fine, Subaru. I'll be here watching from your side.
Oh, man, I can't look uncool in front of you here.
I turn her encouragement into strength and start speaking about the 6th royal candidate, who isn't present here. A heavy silence coldly falls over the room. After hearing the story, everyone's face looked uneasy. Even those who haven't gone pale have pained expression on their faces. The expression ranged from pity to compassion, disgust to indignation, but...
It really is unforgivable.
When Amelia says this out loud, I can tell there's no doubt that everyone is in agreement.
Reconstructing the human body at will, you say? Ferris, is such a thing possible?
I think if you spent a lot of time to slowly change the skeleton and other parts, it wouldn't be impossible. But according to Subaru's story just now, what happened to Miss Melty's body is on a different level completely.
Hiding her third eye and blocking her throat where food passes. This isn't something that can be done with magic. One could say it's like remaking her into a completely new creature.
A new creature, huh? But couldn't the cat ear's magic do something about that? That's right. Ferris's healing magic is famous as the greatest in the kingdom, capable of doing things others cannot.
Would Ferris's healing magic work? What do you think, Ferris?
I and everyone else turn to Ferris, but despite our expected gaze, Ferris shakes his head.
I'm happy you have so much hope in me.
Subaru finally realized? Oh wow, that's the first time he finally realized that Ferris is a guy. Also, so in case you're wondering, hey, no, it's probably just the narrator. No, Subaru is the narrator, and so far this whole entire game he's mainly been saying she for Ferris.
But I think it would be a little difficult. I'd have to examine her to be sure, but if it's as Fairy thinks...
If it's as you think, what would happen?
I think healing magic would have no effect. Subaru, just making sure, but...
Yeah, ask me anything.
According to Tiger's story, Miss Melty's body was made that way years ago, right?
I can't say anything for sure, but considering how he said it, yeah.
Just an example. But when did you lose your arm, Allie?
Allie has a pretty fresh ring to it.
Al, answer him.
Yeah. It's been a little over 10 years since I lost this arm. I'm totally used to it now, though.
Even Fairy's healing magic can't fix this arm Allie lost. After all this time, a lost arm won't grow back.
I guess that makes sense.
If you ask why, it's because his body has gotten used to it. It's natural now for this body to not have an arm. So...
For Melty's body, her evil eyes being hidden and her esophagus being blocked are natural too?
That's what I think. So even if I use healing magic, she probably won't get any better than she is now.
Seriously? To be honest, I was counting on you most of all, Ferris.
I'm fairly uninformed about healing magic. But is there really no possibility? Julius, Margrave Mathers, may I ask?
Unfortunately, my knowledge on healing magic is far short from Ferris's. The only hope is Margrave Mathers.
I'm sad to say healing magic is a weak point for me as well. However, if my knowledge from reading various texts to learn magic is correct, I have no memory of any factors that would refute Ferris's opinion.
This subject may come up, so just letting you know now, it would be difficult with medicine too. To start, most medicines and decoctions are weak compared to healing magic.
Much like Miss Anastasia from the Hoshin Company, it would be difficult for me to be of assistance as well. I've never heard of such a story before.
This individual must be quite the degenerate if they are out there reconstructing bodies. Is there no way to find the perpetrator?
I wish I could, but we have no idea who it could be. I'm sure in the time it takes to investigate.
That girl might end up with a knife in her back.
That's right.
As everyone understanding of the situation sinks in, their expression turned grave as they realize the deadlock we hit. We have so many powerful people gathered here. They say 2 heads are better than 1, and with so many of us, it should open up a new possibility. That's what I thought, but even with that was aiming too high.
We're at an impasse then.
Harry doesn't like this.
There's Ferris, who is likely peerless when it comes to healing magic, and Reinhardt, who has virtually no connection with the word impossible. Melty and Company outlook already looks bad with these 2 being unable to provide an answer, then as still spurring it on further.
All of you are puzzling for so long. But over what are you so concerned?
Priscilla Boreal.
You must realize it. If the story that Commoner brought is true, the false candidate is already clear. All that remains is to reveal the truth, remove the false candidate, and the obstacle disappears. The postponed royal selection would resume. Why would we need to be so concerned over the problems of those who hindered us so much?
So that's why.
Will this discussion move forward without answering this question? I urge you all to consider.
Huh. Normally she would just say, moving on. That was a conclusion I was afraid of. We have no obligation to help Melty and the others. Everyone agree on that. Considering that they deceived us, it wouldn't be unreasonable to cut them down with no mercy. So why are we having this discussion? Is it not good enough to simply expose a criminal? Why should we help them? I can't give an answer right away.
Isn't it because we couldn't sleep at night? What other reason do you need?
And so the first voice to break the silence surprised me to my core. Folding her arms, Felt narrowed her eyes and looked Priscilla in the face while continuing.
They were used by some dangerous people, dragged into a royal selection they wanted no part in, and their lives are in danger. The more I hear, the more I sympathize with that girl. Right, Reinhardt?
Miss Felt.
I felt teasing explosion. Reinhardt puts his hand on his forehead and sighs. I see if you break it down like that, maybe it's true that Felt's circumstances are a little similar to Melty. Of course, between Sakura and Reinhardt, their personality are like good versus evil.
Anyway, if they're being forced to be in the royal selection against their will, I want to do something to help. That would be more than enough reason for me to go along with his suggestion.
While I have a slight objection to her preface, I have the same opinion as Miss Felt. If Miss Felt decides to do this, my duty is to push aside the many obstacles in her path. I will not hesitate.
Talking like you're so high and mighty. Once in a while, you can just say you want to kick the ass of people you don't like.
If that is your command.
As Reinhardt responds, Felt turns her face and clicks her tongue. That's the answer from this lord and her retainer.
If I had to say. My opinion is closer to that of the Red Princess there.
Next, Anastasia started her own debate, raising her hand a little. Anastasia looked back and forth between Priscilla and Felt.
If the fake candidate is identified, any further action is excessive, to be honest. We have no obligation to help them.
Miss Anastasia, but...
Quiet. I'm still in the middle of speaking. You shouldn't interrupt the words of your master. Also, you shouldn't jump to hasty conclusions. What I have to say next is most important.
Oh, interesting. What argument will the widely known embodiment of greed herself present next?
I'll take your words as a compliment, Princess, but my answer is simple. While we have no obligation to help them, there is benefit to it. I may be an outsider, so this doesn't go for me, but isn't the Transcendent Dragon Church a big name in the kingdom? If their candidate turns out to be a fake, that would be a big scandal. So what happens if we solve their problem and show mercy on top of that? The church couldn't hold their head above ours. The main aim of the royal selection is a covenant with the dragon. We would obtain a pretext to silence those who would meddle in it. Would that not be beneficial? So, do you like my way of thinking?
Anastasia, I love you. You are the best.
Why, thank you.
Priscilla closes one eye and curses at Anastasia. I'm impressed by Anastasia seem entirely unaffected. Even though it's a rather heartless conclusion drawn by an experienced merchant.
The conclusion drawn from no emotion is the exact opposite of Felt, and exactly like Anastasia.
You say that, but please don't misunderstand her as having no emotional connection. That is simply a condition required by Miss Anastasia. Even if she says to help them based only on emotion, it would involve the great many people who follow Miss Anastasia. In her position, she must not do such a thing. Thus, it is necessary to have adequate cause. A premise so convincing, it sways yourself and others.
Julius, what embarrassing things are you saying? This has nothing to do with your job as a knight, does it?
No. As your knight, I must do my utmost to prevent misunderstandings of you, Miss Anastasia. However,
what?
I know from the bottom of my heart that I'm glad I became your knight. My sword and my loyalty belong to you.
That's not worth one coin, but my doctrine is to take anything given, so I'll reluctantly accept it.
Yes.
Julius answered with vigor, and Anastasia lightly waves her hand. Looks like this lord and retainer also agree on a single answer. Then...
Well, it appears that it is my turn to state my opinion.
Cruche.
No need to look so worried. When one's gaze becomes cloudy, one can falter in the ideals they carry. Also, rather than stating my opinion here, I shall ask my trusted retainer to do so.
Miss Cruche?
Ferris, I wish to know your opinion. Felt and Anastasia Hoshin have covered the issues of benefit and sentiment. I could act for the same reasons as either of them. However, I wish to hear your opinion in particular. What is going through your mind? After hearing Subaru Natsuki's story earlier, what do you think of Melty Pristis and her faction?
When asked by Cruche, Ferris ponders a hand placed on a rather flat chest. She's a god! Wait. Ferris couldn't reply with an answer that wasn't so thought out. Ferris regarded her... Oh my freaking gosh, Subaru, what the frick? You literally figured it out not even 5 minutes ago, and then you went back to she. Even Priscilla said him. Are you... Oh my god. Ferris regarded her too highly for that. No, that's not it. Ferris wouldn't think such petty thoughts. Ferris' eyes are filled with unusual drive, burning and boiling with a sense of purpose.
Miss Cruche, Fairy is your knight.
Indeed you are.
I'm prepared to devote everything to your ideals.
Yes.
But I am a healer at the same time. When asked for help, the first thing I think of is doing something about it. That goes even more so for people in a deadlock, in despair. After all, I was like that before, in an abyss of darkness, with nothing I could do. Miss Cruche led me by the hand and rescued me from there. That's how I became the person I am now. So I can't possibly reject a hand reaching out for help. I'm sorry, Miss Cruche, for being such a willful and self-indulgent retainer. But...
That's enough. No need to finish.
Miss Cruche, will this make you hate Fairy?
Me? Hate you? Unthinkable. That would only be possible if I ceased being myself.
Miss Cruche, I love you.
As do you.
Aww. After a nod at Ferris' confession of love, Cruche turns her eyes to Priscilla.
Apologies for the long wait, but this is my conclusion. I wish to be a lord who responds to her retainers. Therefore, we shall cooperate with Subaru Natsuki.
All of that back and forth was just a charade. As you said yourself, you could find a reason one way or another, regardless.
However, if I'm going to walk, I will walk the path my ideals have set for me, alongside my beloved retainer.
With all this said, I'm going to end today's episode. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.